Welcome back. Data link layer protocols part 2. In part 1, we had discussed about different elementary data link protocols, right? Elementary in the sense we are treating individual frames separately. Now we are going to discuss different protocols which treat a set of frames together. So before that, let us think about what are the drawbacks for this elementary data link protocols and why we are moving to this sliding window protocols. So as an overview, in the case of elementary data link protocols, we assume that the transmission is always in one direction. That is, machine A always acts as the sender and machine B always acts as the receiver. That is why the corresponding protocols were called the simplex protocol, right? But in protocol 2 and 3, we had added one more thing. There was an acknowledgement back from the receiver to sender. That means the communication is two-way, right? Anyway, half duplex communication is enough because there is no simultaneous communication of data and acknowledgement, either data or the acknowledgement back, right? So a half duplex communication will be enough. So usual approach is that two channels will be used. Okay, for the same physical circuit, two different channels will be established. One for the forward communication, that is for data frames from A to B, and the second is the reverse channel for acknowledgement frame from B to A. This is how it is communicated. The thing is that both channels will have the same capacity, right? Same bandwidth. But if you compare the size of a data frame with that of an acknowledgement frame, the acknowledgement frame will be too small because we have to communicate only one number, right? A sequence number. That with a header and trailer will be the frame for acknowledgement. Okay. So the channel capacity in the reverse direction is always wasted. We are using it for simply a small packet from B to A. Okay. So how to reduce this wastage and all? We are thinking about that. One more thing. In most of the real life networks, communication will be bidirectional, right? Both machine wants to communicate each other. So we have to establish two different physical circuits between these two machines, each with a forward and reverse channel. Okay, forward channel for the data frame and reverse channel for the acknowledgement frame. So the question is, instead of using two different channels in the same direction, one for data and one for acknowledgement, why can we use the same channel for both communication? That is, we are using the same channel for data frame from A to B and also acknowledgement from A to B. Yeah, definitely we can use, right? So in that case, we are using the same channel for both data and acknowledgement in the same direction. How the receiver can differentiate between these two? Okay, so for that there is a special field in the header of the frame. Okay, that is called kind. Okay, kind field. Using the kind field, the receiver can differentiate whether it is a data frame or acknowledgement frame. Okay, so using the same channel, we can use the channel in a maximum efficiency. Okay, and using another technique called piggybacking, we can improve the channel utilization furthermore. From the name itself, you can guess what can be piggybacking, right? It can be a free ride. Just for example, if you are not protecting our Wi-Fi, someone else in your neighborhood can use it freely, right? It's actually a free ride. Just like that, we are using such a technique in this communication also. What we are doing is temporarily delaying outgoing acknowledgement so that they can be hooked onto the next outgoing data frame. So if there is an acknowledgement back from B to A, instead of sending it separately, we will wait whether there is some data frame from B to A. If so, this acknowledgement will be embedded into that data frame. So what's the benefit of that? Yeah, definitely this acknowledgement actually communicate only a sequence number, right? Maybe a single bit sequence number. So if you are sending it as a separate frame, we have to attach a very big header and trailer. That will increase the size of this frame. Instead, if you are attaching it as a part of some data frame, only that relevant information is to be added, right? Other header and trailer already will be there in the data frame. So thereby we can reduce this size of the frame to a great extent. Okay, so that is called piggybacking. So here you can see that there is a data frame from machine A to B. So definitely there will be an acknowledgement back from B to A. Instead of sending that acknowledgement freely from B to A, we are waiting for from data frame from B to A, and we are embedding that acknowledgement into this data frame. Okay, so a 1 bit will be added into this data frame. So definitely some portion of the header will be there reserved for this acknowledgement number. We can put that acknowledgement number there. That's enough to send this acknowledgement. So thereby we can reduce this length of the frame to a great extent. Okay, and here you can see that the third one is simply an acknowledgement. And the issue if you are using this piggybacking is that how long a machine wants to wait till a new data frame is generated. It wants to send this acknowledgement in time, right? Otherwise what will happen? In the sender will time out after some time. So sender will assume that, oh, my data is lost, that is why no acknowledgement is coming back. So I have to retransmit. So definitely duplicate frames will be arrived at the destination. So there is a time limit in which a machine can wait for a data frame to piggyback his acknowledgement, right? So if there is no such data frame from B to A, within this time limit, what will this machine will do? It will simply send the acknowledgement alone. Okay, that is piggybacking. That is why the third right is actually acknowledgement alone, because within the time limit there is no data frame from A to B. Okay, so this is piggybacking. Now we have to move the second category of protocols. Those are sliding window protocols. So before that we have to discuss why we are moving to the sliding window protocol, or what are the drawbacks of using this elementary data link protocols. Okay, so we have to take the third protocol, that is addressing both flow control and error control, right? Stop and wait ARQ, which addresses both flow control by sending only one frame at a time. Okay, only after receiving the acknowledgement it is sending the second frame. That is thereby it assumes flow control. And what about the error control? Yeah, whenever there is a error in the received frame or the frame is lost, a retransmission will be there from the sender to receiver using the timer, right? And also using sequence numbers, duplicate frames will be eliminated in the case of receiver. So that is the perfect protocol in case of elementary data link protocol. So let us see what are the drawbacks for this stop and wait ARQ. Whether the channel is utilized in a good way, that is we are going to assume. So let us think about an example. Assume that the channel bandwidth is 1 megabit per second. In a second it can transfer up to 1 megabits. And the round trip time is 20 millisecond. Round trip time in the sense time taken to travel the data from A to B and the corresponding acknowledgement from B to A. The total time for this is called round trip time. So now let us check how much channel is actually utilized, how much it is wasted. Okay. So this channel capacity, that is how much data or how many number of bits can be transmitted over this channel during this round trip time. That can be calculated using this equation, bandwidth into round trip delay. Okay. So in our case, that is 1 megabit per second, 10 raised to 6 into 20 millisecond, that is 20 into 10 raised to minus 3. So if we multiply these two, we will get 20,000 bits. That means in this 20 millisecond time, this channel could have transferred 20,000 bits. Okay. But usually the frame length will be short. Just for example, 1000 bits may be the size of a frame. Only that much information is actually transferred between these two machines in this 20 millisecond if you are using the stop and wait ARQ, right? Only after this 20 millisecond it can send the second frame. So actual useful communication is just 1000 bits instead of 20,000 bits. Okay, so what's the channel utilization there? 1000 divided by 20,000. Just 5% of the channel capacity is actually utilized if you are using this stop and wait protocol. The remaining 95% is completely wasted. Now if the situation will be more worse if you are if there is some errors, right? In that case the same data may have to be retransmitted and again. This will reduce further the channel efficiency, channel capacity. So how can we get rid of this type of very poor channel utilization? And one more thing, if the transit time, that is round trip time, is more, okay, and bandwidth is high and the frame length is short, such a combination makes this channel utilization very poor. Okay, as the time delay increases and the bandwidth also increases and the frame size decreases, the channel utilization will be very badly affected. So how can we get rid of such a very poor bandwidth utilization? Okay. The solution is allow the sender to send up to W frames before blocking. In case of stop and wait, after sending first frame, the sender is blocked until the acknowledgement is received back, right? Instead of blocking there, why can the sender send a set of frames before the arrival of the acknowledgement frame? Okay, so this is how the channel utilization can be improved. We are sending a sequence of frames. So we have to select this W properly to ensure that the sender will never overwhelm the receiver. Receiver may be slow. In that case, the sender should not push a set of frames beyond the handling capacity of the receiver. So W should be selected properly. Okay, and this type of flow or this type of communication is called pipelining. We are sending a sequence of frames. We can treat the channel as a pipe. So we are pumping packets from a machine to another using this channel. Okay, so sequentially these frames will be followed one after the other, and that is called pipelining. So using the pipelining technique, we can improve the channel efficiency. So definitely there will be issues like if a frame is in between lost or damaged, we have to address such issues later. Okay. So using this pipelining, we have a set of protocols. Those are called sliding window protocol. Why it is called sliding window, we can see with examples. Okay. So in case of sliding window protocol, the basic things are two windows. A window kept by the sender, that is called sending window, which is a sequence number set corresponding to the frames it is permitted to send. Currently, which are the different frames I can send to the receiver. Such a set of sequence numbers will be there in the sender side. That is called sending window. Okay, this is to ensure that flow control is there and error control is there. Which and all I should send now. Okay, like that. In the receiver side, another window will be kept by the receiver. That is called receiving window, which are the set of sequence numbers corresponding to the frames it is permitted to accept. Which and all I can accept now. That set is called receiver window. That will be clear when we are discussing an example for the corresponding protocol. Okay. So we are starting from the basic version of the sliding window protocol. Here also we are sending just one frame at a time. Just to understand the theoretical background of this sliding window protocol, let us start from the simplest version of this sliding window protocol, and that is called 1-bit sliding window protocol. And two other protocols are there. Those are called go back N and selective repeat. And these three protocols differs in terms of efficiency, complexity, buffer requirements, etc. So we will see the first protocol, that is a basic version of sliding window protocol here, and the remaining two protocols we will see in the next sessions. Okay, So starting from the 1-bit sliding window protocol, it's the basic version. So you can see that sequence numbers are from 0 to 7. That means a 3-bit field will be enough to represent the sequence number of different frames. Okay, and we have the sender machine here and the receiver machine here, and the window size is just one frame in case of this 1-bit protocol. Okay, size is 1 in the sense only one frame can be sent at a time. Only after receiving the acknowledgement it can send the next frame. So it's similar to ARQ, stop and wait ARQ, but it's a sliding window protocol in the basic or primitive version of the sliding window protocol. So we can see how this window are advanced and all. Okay, so in this example, initial stage is like this: sender, okay, and this is the receiver. So the sender and receiver should keep buffer whose size is equal to the number of frames in the window. Here the window size is just one frame, okay, just like the stop and frame protocol. So only one data frame will be sent and received. Okay, so the buffer size will be 1 in case of sender and receiver. Now we can take the sender, the initial stage of the sender. Initially the sender don't have anything in hand. Whenever the network layer of the sender transfers a packet to the data link layer of the sender, it will be assigned a sequence number. The sequence number will be the next highest sequence number. Here that will be 0. Okay, so that 0 will be assigned to this packet. It will be converted into frame, right? And then only this number will be assigned. And this frame 0 will be sent to the receiver. And you can check the initial stage of this receiver. Here the sequence number assigned or pointer kept on the frame 0. That means this receiver is ready to accept frame 0. That's the meaning of this window here. Okay. So after the initial stage, the sender sent the first frame to the receiver. When a frame is sent by the sender, it will advance its upper edge to the next frame. So upper edge is advanced. Here both the lower and upper edge indicates the same. Frame 0 was that. After sending the first frame, the upper edge is advanced. The lower edge is there itself, in 0 itself, because the lower edge indicates the frame to be acknowledged by the receiver. Okay, so the meaning here is that I have sent one frame and I am ready for sending the second frame, and I am waiting for the acknowledgement from the receiver for this frame 0. Okay, and you can see the receiver side at stage 2. The receiver is yet to receive this frame. Okay, that is why it's still in this frame 0. And the third stage, you can see here, third stage is after the first frame has been received. After the first frame has been received. In the receiver you can see, yeah, I have received one frame and I am sending back the acknowledgement. Okay. What about the sender? Yeah, the status is the same, right? I have sent the data frame to a receiver. I am waiting for the acknowledgement for the same, and I am ready for sending the second frame. Okay. Now at the stage 4. Stage 4 is after the first acknowledgement has been received by the sender. In that case, yeah, you can see that I have received the acknowledgement for frame 0. That is, frame 0 is there safely in receiver. So I can send the second frame now. Whenever my data link layer give me the second frame, I can send it. So both the edges are now pointing to frame 1 here. So why the sender keeps the frame sent again till the acknowledgement is received? Yeah, there can be some error, right? In that case, the sender will time out and how to retransmit the same frame again. That is why it is keeping that frame till the corresponding acknowledgement is received. And what about the receiver? If the receiver receives any frame which is falling out of its window. Okay, so here it is waiting for frame 1, frame numbered 1, and if it receives a frame numbered 0 again, that means it's a duplicate. So it will just discard that frame. Okay. Now let us see through two different scenarios. One in which this protocol works well without any error, and the second one there is some issues in this protocol. In the normal case, let us analyze first. Okay, so this packet format with three fields indicate the first field is a sequence number of the data frame, and the second field is the acknowledgement. It is piggybacking some acknowledgement. The number of the data packet I have received safely. Okay, and this is the frame. This is how this data is actually transmitted. Sender sends the 01A0. So initially you don't bother about this acknowledgement number because there is no acknowledgement, right? So simply keep this sender frame number and the frame number, sequence number of the frame and the corresponding frame itself. So B gets this packet, B receives this packet, and the asterisk sign indicates that the data link layer successfully hand over this packet to the network layer. Network layer receives it, and after getting this packet, B sends back the next frame from B to A together with acknowledgement for the received packet. 0 indicates that this is the first frame from B to A, and it embed the acknowledgement, piggyback the acknowledgement for the received frame. The received frame was 0 from A to B, right? 0 is also attached here, and the frame sending is B0, the first frame of B from B to A. Okay, and A gets this second packet, that is A gets the first packet from the node B. This is the frame received. Yeah, there is no issue, that will be handed over to the network layer of A. Okay, now A sends a second frame. Second frame is sequence number 1. Acknowledgement is, yeah, I have received your first frame, that is frame 0 from you. Acknowledgement for that, and the packet is A1. Okay, that is received by B successfully, and sending back the second frame from B, also acknowledgement for the second frame from A to B. So 1 1 B1. That is also successfully received. Again A sends the third frame. So here always the issue between two successive frames in case of duplicates and all, right? So a single bit can be used to represent the sequence number. So 0 and 1 are used. First frame will be represented using 0, second will be represented using 1, third will be again represented using 0, like that. Okay, so third frame with sequence number 0, and acknowledgement for the second frame from B, that is frame number 1. Okay, and A2 is the name of the corresponding frame. Okay, third packet from A to B. That is also received by B and sends back an acknowledgement. What is acknowledgement here? Yeah, I have received a frame whose sequence number was 0, and I am sending a third packet from my side. So sequence number is 0 and my packet is B2. That is also received by A, like that. This continues. Okay, you can check the packet number to find the position of different packets. Okay, so A3 means fourth packet from A to B, and sequence number is 1, and acknowledging the third packet actually, or serial number or sequence number is 0, like that. This is the normal flow in case of a sliding window protocol. And the second scenario is actually an abnormal case, and we can see how this abnormal case is also handled correctly by our protocol. As you know, the communication is bidirectional. That means both machines A and B are free to send the data at any moment, right? So there's a chance that both of them send the data simultaneously. Let us take the case, such a case, that is A and B are trying to communicate in parallel. Okay, so let us take the case of A first. A sends his first frame. Frame sequence number is 0. Frame is A0. We need not bother about the acknowledgement number here because it's the first frame. And B also sends his first frame. Sequence number is 0. Frame is B0. Okay, after some time, the frame from A is received at the machine B. So B will check the sequence number, whether the sequence number is the same as that I am expecting. Yeah, sequence number 0 is the one I am expecting from A, and so that this frame can be received. So this frame will be handed over to the network layer in B, and it will send back an acknowledgement. Can B send the second frame to A? No, because it not yet received an acknowledgement for its frame 0, right? So it will just send frame 0, but confirming it, the frame 0 for A. So acknowledgement number now will be 0. That means I received your frame 0 successfully. So it will send the same frame again. Okay. See here, after some time, A receives the first frame, that is frame 0 from B successfully. Here also it will check whether the sequence number is the same as that I am expecting from B. Yeah, this is same. So it will be handed over to the corresponding network layer. And suppose at this moment the timer of A got expired. The timer value is set a short value, so it got expired. So what the machine A will do? It will think that, yeah, my frame is lost somewhere. I have to resend it. I have to send a duplicate for the same. So it will resend the frame 0, A0. Meanwhile, it will acknowledge the frame 0 from B. So the acknowledgement number is 0 here. After some time, B received this frame. Okay. So it will check for the sequence number. Actually, B is expecting frame 1 from A because frame 0 is already acknowledged from the part of machine B, right? So it is actually expecting frame 1, but the received one is having a sequence number 0. That means this is a duplicate one. So it will simply reject it. And it will check the acknowledgement number here. Yeah, my frame 0 is now acknowledged. I can send next frame to A. So B will send the second frame, sequence number 1, frame is B1, but it will repeat the same confirmation. I have already successfully received your frame 0. Now you can send your frame 1. Okay. So after some time you can see here the confirmation from B, which was previously sent, is now received by A. Sequence number is 0, that means it's actually a duplicate. Already frame 0 is received by A. To check the acknowledgement, yeah, now my first frame 0 is confirmed. Okay, so this frame also will be rejected because this is a duplicate from B, but acknowledgement is valid now. Okay, now A can send its second frame. Frame sequence number 1, frame is A1. Still repeating that I already confirmed your frame 0. Now you can send the next frame. So this is how every time all the duplicates will be rejected correctly by this protocol. So this is the single bit protocol. Now we can make it efficient by expanding the window size at any moment, that is before receiving the acknowledgement for the first frame. A sequence of frames can be sent, thereby increase the channel efficiency much more. For that we can see the next two protocols. Those are go back N and selective repeat. Thank you.